This episode of Foreplay is brought to you by Simply Safe. When it comes to protecting the ones you love, I'm sure we can all agree nothing is more important than their safety. I'm not a dad. Riggs, you're not a dad.
But many of you out there probably are.
Many of you out there probably are, and Simply Safe is here to help you protect your family, so you'll always know that they're safe. Each Simply Safe system is a security arsenal expertly engineered to protect each access point to your home. You can set up the system yourself in under an hour and save hundreds on installation fees. Simply Safe is designed so that you can easily blanket your home in professional protection. 24/7 monitoring is just $14.99 a month. No hidden fees, no gotchas. That's it. No long-term contracts. Simply Safe will never lock you in because they earn your business every single day. To find out why millions of Americans trust Simply Safe to protect their loved ones, go to simplysafe.com/barstool. That's BARSTOOL now. If you order today, you'll get extra 10% off plus a free keychain, remote, and free shipping. Go to simplysafe.com/barstool now for Simply Safe.
All right, the Foreplay boys are back. Foreplay presented by BarstoolSports.com. Trent, Daddy, what's going on?
Nothing much. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well. We had the Memorial finish up yesterday, all kinds of rain delays. We had a big match yesterday against Paige Spiranac.
Oh, yeah. We can get into that a little bit. Can't get too much into it because we're not going to reveal the winner until the video actually goes up.
No, we're not going to give out the we're not going to blow it. We're not going to spoil it. But we had Paige Spiranac. She's also on the show later on. We did about 20 minutes or so with Paige, who's a good friend of the program, has been for a while now.
Yeah, been a good friend of hers since she had a ball out of my mouth.
Yes.
And then yesterday, people already know this isn't a spoiler, she tried to hit it out of another end of me, my butt cheeks, and she failed and gave me a huge bruise on my ass.
So we were coming up with all these different ideas on different stipulations to have on different holes to make it interesting, make it fun, make it a good video, entertaining, etc. One of them, she was like, we have to hit the ball off of Trent. I didn't really know what that meant.
I didn't either, and we just kind of rolled with it because we were all spitballing ideas right before we teed off. Mm-hmm. So we're like, yeah, we'll just hit one off of Trent. We'll fine. We'll just do it when we get there. We get there, and the idea essentially is you each have to hit something off me during the drive and during the putt. So the drive was out of my butt cheeks.
And I mean, I had to go first, and I was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. She gets up there, and she's basically like shoving the tee up your ass.
Yeah, you were gentle. And I appreciate that. I thank you for that.
Well, that's my guy. It's my foreplay guy. We're shoving tees, in each other's ass cheeks. It was weird.
Yeah, you were putting it in the butt cheeks, and I was trying to squeeze, and you didn't hit me, which was nice. And then Paige got up there. She was literally sticking the tee up my asshole.
So it's very difficult. I've never been involved in one of these hitting a ball out of someone else's mouth or out of their ass or whatever the hell we're doing. It's very difficult how high it is. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how high it is. It's like a baseball swing. And it's very tough for you to squeeze your ass cheeks and hold the tee in place and then also hold the golf ball balanced on top of it.
That's the hardest part. And we had this when we were at the World Long Drive Championship where Tim Burke hit a ball out of my mouth. And the hardest part is not getting the tee in your mouth. It's like you're nervous, so you're shaking. And to keep the ball on top of it is impossible. So you have to go very quickly. And I think that's the undoing with Paige hitting me in the ass, was she saw the ball falling, thought she had to swing quicker to hit the ball, and she might have, been less concentrated on where to hit the ball, and she hit me in the ass.
Yeah, so when you do it, it's pretty much all the footage that you're going to see of us hitting either your ass or me hitting the golf ball barely is after, 17 takes of where the ball just fell and we didn't get to swing.
Yeah.
So it's really rushed and quick. Anyways, she fucking smoked you and your ass is black and blue, literally.
Yeah, it was, we had video right afterwards. It was just very red. And then we went into the interview with her after the round, which was probably maybe an hour later. And then we looked at it there and it is black and blue and it is still black and blue.
I mean, you pulled your pants down and she legitimately gasped.
I thought
she was like, oh my God.
Her and her fiance Steve's reaction made me think it was bleeding.
Yes.
Or that it looked like something they had never seen before. It looks like a bruise. It just looks like a really bad bruise.
See, I was not startled by it. I knew exactly what it was going to look like because last January, I pretty infamously killed myself skiing.
Okay.
And I hit the exact same spot on my ass, basically, is where I was cruising, fell because I was going faster than my skill level, fell on a giant, I was obviously skiing up in New Hampshire, and it's all ice and dog shit skiing conditions up there. and I fell right on a huge ice chunk right on the back of my. I was trying to like skirt to the side of it, and I like fell and went full speed ass right ass cheek into the ice, like chunk of ice.
Yeah.
And it like stopped me in my tracks. My skis went everywhere, and for like 6 weeks I like couldn't fucking walk. Huge black and bruised ass.
Yeah, it's
black and blue bruised ass.
the things that are the hardest. I would rank them. I'll rank them easiest to hardest. Walking is a little tougher than it usually is. Sitting on my ass as a blogger is tougher. And number one by far is taking a dump is the hardest.
Oh, that stinks.
Are
you putting all your weight on one cheek?
I am putting all the weight is on the left cheek while I'm taking a dump.
Oh man, that's tough.
Luckily, I lean on my left cheek when I'm going to clean up. So if I was right, it'd be trouble.
Well, I mean, this is what we go through to make good content. It's a good match. Paige did not want to lose.
No.
Things were intense for a while there. At the beginning, they were very intense.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both very competitive people.
Yeah, you'll see. I don't want to give too much away, but you'll see one where it's a speed hole and things get the ruling gets a little wonky and people are trying to negotiate strokes and the vibe changes from like, this is really fun and awesome to, I just want to win this thing so I don't have to.
Big time.
Yeah.
There was a 15-minute stretch there where like Paige and I were sitting in the cart together, not talking to each other. Like pissed about how the whole last hole went down.
And she's very bubbly all the time until, the stakes were high.
Which I love. I love bubbly, but like when you get her inside the ropes, she's fucking ruthless.
Yeah, and she is.
I like that. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to myself and my roommate for beating office manager Brett and Frankie Borelli, the pizza maker.
Yep.
Out on Long Island on Saturday. Trent and I lost about a month ago. We lost to those same two goons.
We did.
So it felt good to get a little revenge. My roommate Lurch, shout out to him. For those that don't know, he's a giant 6'4" clown who dances like Lurch from Addams Family.
He's huge, but he's nimble.
He is nimble. He's like sneaky nimble. Anyways,
every time I'm at a bar with him, he's dancing.
He's always dancing, and he's like way too big to be dancing. So we just call him Lurch. He's kind of a train wreck, but great guy. Great victory this weekend for us. Also, shout out to the Oklahoma Sooners men's golf team.
Okay.
They won their first men's golf national championship since 1989. They beat Oregon 3.5 to 1.5. I always love watching college golf because it's way more chaotic.
Yeah.
Than tour golf, just because they're not. It's basically just like any sport where the football or whether it's football, basketball, whatever, it's always more chaotic.
For sure.
More errors, all that shit.
That's
college.
why people like Little League Baseball because
Exactly.
it's fucking chaos.
Exactly. Or I've been getting into women's softball lately. That shit, they are terrible.
Our fearless leader Dave Portnoy has been beating that drum for years. He loves women's softball.
I didn't really. I started getting into that. Me and Smitty, we bet on. It was like Butler and Arizona State. The Butler chick running from second to home misses the fucking base.
Right.
Just missed the third base. Ran right over it.
Yep.
Like, nope, that doesn't count. You can't do that. Instead of fucking a run, 3 outs, inning over. It was crazy.
There is absolutely an argument to be made that professional sports are far less boring than amateur sports because I like when it's
too good.
The chaos factor.
The chaos factor is great. Speaking of chaos, we're getting into some U.S. Open talk. We are a week away from U.S. Open week.
Let's go.
Aaron Hills. We had a couple. We got both Phil and Adam Scott with U.S. Open related stuff. But first, the Memorial, Jack's Place, Duff Daddy.
Yeah.
Chubby Duff.
Chubby Duff is back.
He's fucking back. He looks good out there. His guts sticking out. He's got that Duff demeanor. However, he did have a very lovely fist pump on the 72nd hole yesterday.
Yeah, he is, I would call Jason Duffner a coma golfer because everything he does, he looks like he's in a coma. Very little, even when he won his major, there was very little like, woohoo!
Yeah, with the exception of that little ass grab of R.I.P. Amanda Duffner.
Yeah, that was the one. Oh, man, now you got me thinking about Amanda Duffner.
Sorry about
That's
that.
okay. But anytime you can get Duffner, fist pumping, Chubby Duff, I'm all in on it.
Yeah, he had a wild week. He went back-to-back 65s. Then he shot 77 on Saturday, and then followed it up with a 3-shot victory. He was all over the map. That was the first player to shoot a 77 and still win, 77 in the third round and still win since the 1989 Masters, Nick Faldo.
Wow. I was going to ask this question that just came to my head. What's the highest round a guy has posted and still won a tournament?
That's a great question. I don't know what it is.
It's got to be close to 77.
It's clearly got to be higher because
Right.
this was just like the stat on this one, I believe, is just he's the first player since Faldo to shoot 77 in the third round.
Right.
So there's got to be a U.S. Open or something where, because I believe it was at Wingfoot Ogilvy won it at 5 over back in Phil's year in 06. And then I think even the year after that, Oakmont, it was like 7 over or something like that. One. So you got to think some tournament like that, somebody's posting like a fucking 79 or 80.
Right.
And then a couple good rounds and holding on at like 6 or 7 over.
77 and still coming out with a dub is incredible.
Yeah, he had a hell of a run down the stretch. It was an awesome leaderboard down the stretch with a bunch of big names. Ricky had the lead for a while. JT started to make a charge. Cooch was making a charge. This guy Summerhays came in. I felt bad for him. I want to get into this. Summerhays came in with a 3-stroke lead, and then Duff did his thing. Duff made that bomb. It was like a 30-footer on the 72nd hole. Huge fist pump under Duff standards to win. It's all sealed up. And then they got to go back out to these guys who are finishing up. This Daniel Summerhays guy, I felt so bad for him. He's coming in on 18, out of the tournament. He's had a shit day. Thought he's going to win. He's just putzing around on the 18th green, hacking it, flubbing chips. He ends up making double, costs him hundreds of thousands of dollars. I felt fucking horrible for it. All the announcers, I mean, they got to continue announcing for like 20 more minutes after the tournament's literally over, and they're like, well, it is tough when the energy's been sucked out of it, and nobody's cheering, nobody's doing anything. This guy looks like a 20 handicap. I felt bad for the guy. I was like, man, maybe when it's like when everyone agrees that it's over, maybe everyone just wherever you're at on the leaderboard, that's it. It's just over.
I'm a huge fan of that. I am a huge fan of that.
Like, nobody can mathematically catch Duffner. It's over. Wherever you sit at the leaderboard, the tournament is over.
Yeah, because it's like a walk of shame for a guy like Daniel Summerhays.
Terrible.
You don't need him out there.
No, it was awful.
We almost had to fire up another hashtag anybody but Bubba.
Yep.
He was up there for a while, but he he faded down the stretch. He shot a 73 on Sunday. So
couple good moments for Bubba. That picture that went viral of him. Did you see this? Where he was way over in the way off to the side of the green, and the crowd had encircled him or whatever in the form of a dick.
Yeah.
And the 2 bunkers were like the balls.
Yep.
It was great.
I'll tell you this. I don't believe in a higher power. That's not my jam. But when I see things like that, Bubba in the middle of a crowd that looks like a giant dick, it just makes me kind of want to go to church on Sundays.
Yeah, I agree. It really makes you kind of understand why people believe in something.
Yes.
I don't. I don't believe in anything.
Same.
But I really like that some people do, and I understand it, and I'm jealous of it. Also, it really makes you realize that pretty much collectively as golf fans, we're all on the same page. When my DMs, and I'm sure yours do too, just explode with this picture.
Yes.
On every, Instagram, Twitter, my mentions, it's like 100 people sending me the same thing, like, look, Bubba's a dick, get it? I'm like, yeah. And I laugh. I mean, I laugh every time. Also, it was a great moment on the back 9. I don't remember what hole it was. Maybe it was 12. But Bubba hit his ball into a bunker and had the worst lie I've ever seen. And they just showed him standing there doing his Bubba body English language. Yeah. And looking at Ted Scott, looking back, it just was the most miserable fuck. All he did was flub it back into the bunker on purpose.
Yeah.
And I just laughed the whole time. I was like, this is great. They know it too. They know that Bubba draws a ton of eyes with his misery because they showed him the whole time. This whole bunker saga, they left it on him for 5 minutes.
Well, because they know he's going to be like, oh, man, this is something. And people either love Bubba or they hate him. He's a polarizing person. And, you keep the camera on and people are going to watch. But they just know he's going to throw a fit.
Yeah, so that was exciting. Fuck Bubba. Another little interesting tidbit. The 16th hole yesterday, out of 76 players that made the cut, great field, a lot of talented guys, 9 hit the green in regulation on the 16th hole yesterday.
Whoa.
It was brutal. There was 1 birdie. It's downwind. I mean, the hole is basically, so I was playing all downwind yesterday. It's basically the 12th hole at Augusta, but 50 yards longer.
That's insane.
And if the green's more firm, and it was straight downwind. People were just struggle city yesterday. It was fun to watch. I like that kind of chaos.
Yeah, and I mean they had a ton of rain delays, so you just got you got a
ton of rain delays, which factored it. The golf. It's just tough when there's rain delays. It's tough to get into it. When they came back and Duff was playing the 18th, but you kind of knew he was going to win, and then he just won, and it was I just waited 2 hours to watch.
Yeah.
1 hole. It's kind of annoying. It's a tough situation for them. Anyways, on to headlines.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few headlines today, actually.
Yeah, let's start with, I'm trying to think where we want to start. Let's start with this one. This is probably the biggest one that came out over the weekend. Phil Mickelson is going to skip the U.S. Open this year to attend his daughter's high school graduation. What do you think about that?
I think it's important to note she is the class president and she's also the commencement speaker.
Okay.
Look, if your daughter's just fucking walking down the aisle like everybody else, no chance you make this move.
Mm-hmm.
She's the class president. She's the commencement speaker. I don't hate this move from Phil. I think that if he genuinely thought he was going to win, he would not be pulling this move.
I agree with that last part 100%.
Like if this were like Torrey Pines or something, somewhere dear to his heart where he's grown up playing, he's won there many times, I think that he would absolutely not be missing this. However, he must look at it. He must have looked at Aaron Hills. He must be factored in how he's playing. I don't know exactly he's factored in, but it's more than just this. Otherwise, if he genuinely thought, hey, I've got a better chance than not, or a better chance than I usually have, I really believe I can win this week, I don't think he's fucking missing this.
I think that's probably true. I disagree with this move wholeheartedly. High school graduation.
Oh, not a family guy.
Not a family guy. High school graduations don't move the needle, and I don't think they should move the needle for like anybody else. College graduation, if she is the number one thing in college, then that's even better. You know how easy it is to graduate from high school? I did it. You did it. I mean, you went to Harvard, but I just don't think high school is that big of a deal. This is one you can miss, especially if it's a major you've never won before.
Yeah, there was also the theory that he's the couple of our other guys, coworkers, were touting the theory that he sees the opportunity that Tiger's down in the dumps, and like, oh, Tiger's a shitty guy. He doesn't follow the law. He's clearly like not been a great family man. And Phil is going to kick it to him and be like, I'm the ultimate family man. I'm going to skip the tournament that means the most on planet Earth to me because my daughter's doing what pretty much any human being on Earth can do, and which is graduate from high school.
Yeah, that's an extremely woke theory.
Very woke.
I don't think it's true, although it's interesting nonetheless. You know what I think his daughter should do? She should be like, I appreciate you wanting to come, but you should go play. You should go play the U.S. Open.
You think that would work? Or you think? I don't think Phil like takes advice from fucking anybody, not even Bones.
I think it would work on his daughter. That'd be a good story too, because then you get the best of both worlds. You said you were going to go to your daughter's graduation and see her, but she is saying no, you go play. And then if he wins, think about that story.
It's also weird to me that he's 46, going to be 47 on June 16th. If he was like 23, and he was like, I'm going to win one of these, it doesn't really matter that much. And I don't love the venue, but I'm 23 years old. I'm going to play in 30 more of these. Not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's getting close to the end of the rainbow here.
Yeah, and the flip side, I actually wrote that on my blog. I agree with that. But the flip side of that is he does look healthy. He doesn't look like he's slowing down whatsoever. But the flip side of that is an injury can come out of nowhere for an old guy like him and kind of, you don't know how many more chances you're going to get.
He said it too. He said, quote, I mean, obviously it's the tournament I want to win the most, but this is one of those moments where you look back on life and you just don't want to miss it. I'll be really glad that I was there and present. It's fucking high school graduation.
No, you could say that exact same quote for going to play the U.S. Open.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The daughter's graduation, it's going to be great. They can video it. He can watch it later. The quote you just said, you could say the exact same things about the U.S. Open.
Sticking on U.S. Open theme, we got Adam Scott. He came out and said, he dropped a couple different quotes here. The gist of it is, hey, USGA, please don't make the U.S. Open too hard. He said, let's just have something that's a challenge and interesting, not just playing brutal. He also said they've really dropped the ball with where the game is at over the last 20 years. Don't hate that. He also said maybe it's time to do away with the even par target at the U.S. Open.
Okay, what do you think about all that?
Well, I say fuck that. I want it to be difficult, tough. This is like the one tournament of the year we get that's actually brutal.
Yeah.
Like, yes, obviously the PGA, the British Open, the Masters are tough course setups. They're supposed to be, in theory, the toughest of the year. But those guys, I mean, for the most part, they're still finishing 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10, 12 under par, which is right on par with a lot of the tougher courses on the regular tour Roto.
Yeah.
Give us one where you guys struggle. The rough's too fucking long. Of course it's too tough. I want it to be unfair.
I'm with you. Turn the screws.
Yes,
just once.
Just once. It's once a year we get it. And I understand that it's probably not fun to play. It's not even fun for me to play when I'm struggling a little bit. The easiest course in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is too fucking hard. Why is there a bunker right there? There shouldn't be. I get it. But just let us have it once. It's once a year, guys. You go out there, you grind. The rough's long as fuck. The fairways are like 5 yards wide. I love it.
Shouldn't they want that a little bit?
You'd think they would.
A little part of you would want to be like, all right, it's what you're saying. All these courses that we play throughout the year, they're tough, and the fields, that's what makes them even tougher. But just give it one to see who can really play well under the most insane circumstances. Like Chambers Bay was a piece of shit. The greens were a piece of shit. Everything was a piece of shit. But it made it that much more fun to watch.
Yes.
To see guys like that struggle.
Yeah, it was a circus.
Yes.
It was like an absolute chaos circus. That's what you want because it's the U.S. Open.
Yeah, and you can't have a circus like 10 times a year.
No.
Then people are like, this is stupid, and stop making it so hard.
Right.
Once, just one time a year. Stop being such a pussy, Adam Scott.
And this is the U.S. Open. It's been like this for fucking ever. It's
Right.
like whenever you get a course that happens to play way tougher than people think on a normal weekend on the PGA Tour, everyone always goes, well, this isn't the U.S. Open because the U.S. Open is supposed to be a certain way. It's supposed to be hard as fuck. So USGA, do not listen to Adam Scott.
Make it even harder now.
Make it even harder. Also, if Jack Nicklaus were playing in this event, he's somewhere crossing Adam Scott off the list of people that he has to contend with right now.
1,000%.
Toast. See you later, Adam Scott.
Next headline, I've got Peyton Manning plays golf with Donald Trump. I put this on the list because we've talked about this one other time when Rory McIlroy played with Donald Trump, and he went through a shitstorm of media. And at the time, my opinion was it made sense for Rory to play because it's better to be friends with the President of the United States than not to be friends with the President of the United States. I don't feel that way anymore.
Really?
I think the media scrutiny that you're going to get and the questions that you're going to have to answer is not worth playing 18 holes with the most powerful man on the planet.
They're going to start being like, oh, Trent endorses all of these crazy tweets.
Well, it's part of that. It's you play with Donald Trump, and it puts the effect, even if it's not true, and I don't know what the case is with Peyton Manning, that you do agree with all of these things, and whether you agree with those things or not as a fan of Peyton Manning or whatever, Peyton Manning's going to have to answer those questions at somewhere along the line.
And I don't think that's, avoid it.
I would. That would be the last thing I would want to do.
Here's the thing: is Peyton Manning's retired, so I don't think he gives a fuck. If he was still playing, I would agree with you. However, I don't know. I'm still mostly on the theory that playing golf with the president is basically like playing golf with the Pope. I'm not a religious guy. Mm-hmm. Pope asked me to play 18. I'm fucking all in.
Pretty anti-religious podcast so far.
Yeah, we've kind of shit on the religion, but I'm like, I'll play with the Pope.
Let me ask you this.
I'm not praying. I'm not out there fucking.
Let me ask you this.
Drinking wine that's the blood of Christ. I'm out there playing golf with the fucking Pope.
Let me ask you this. In 15, 20 years, when Peyton Manning is telling a story and he goes, I played golf with the President of the United States one time, and is somebody going to be like, yeah, but it was Donald Trump? I think that's what happens.
Well, you're really looking ahead, Trent.
I am looking ahead.
That's like future woke Trent.
All I'm saying is I think there's going to be no matter what you believe, whatever, who cares, there's going to be an asterisk around everybody and everything that people who say, oh, I did this with the president, it's going to be a little different.
So if Rory had played golf with Trump this last weekend, you would have the same theory you have now.
I would have the same theory I would have now. My only caveat to that is I like watching Rory answer questions, and he gives very, very interesting answers. So I would.
Sounds like you're biased.
I am. I actually wouldn't.
Biased.
I wouldn't hate watching Rory go through the ringer because he gives thoughtful answers and funny answers. Peyton Manning, I feel like he'd just be like, Budweiser, Papa John's.
Speaking of Rory, rib injuries under control.
He posted an Instagram. He looks like he's pumped to play at Iron Hills.
Posted an Instagram, and I actually turned the volume all the way up on it because our boy Ollie from last week on the podcast was like, I've never heard anything like what it sounds like when Rory hits a golf ball. So I listened to him. Sounds very nice. Sounds very nice.
Does it sound like something you've never heard before?
It sounded like he hit a 3-wood like I don't even understand how to hit a 3-wood.
Yeah, that makes sense. They say that about baseball players. Like they say Bryce Harper, it sounds like a shotgun
makes
going
another
off.
sound. Yeah.
I feel that way about Henrik Stenson's 3-wood. I know about that.
His 3-wood's sexy. This one, but yeah, he posted anyway. Rory posted that Insta. It looked good. He looked sharp. He's just kind of like playing the majors at this point.
Yeah, he really is. He really is, and I don't hate it.
No,
I don't hate it. But he is just kind of floating. I'm pretty sure he could have played the last couple tournaments, probably. But he's just
was in on vacation in Portugal for
He just got married. He's probably
2
doing
weeks.
a lot. He's a newlywed. He's doing a lot of fucking.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not married, guys. Is that how it works? Do you just do a lot of fucking right after you get married?
I think right away, yes.
And then you're toast.
Then
after
you become Kevin Francis Clancy, and it's
lock it up.
It's just lock it up.
Another headline. We got to do a little Tiger Woods update.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time we were on the podcast, Tiger had released his, in our opinion, bullshit statement about there was no alcohol involved. I had, kind of underestimated the reaction from some combination of this and that. We were like, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
I want to defend that for 2 seconds.
Okay.
At the time, the information we had was that Tiger had denied breathalyzers and he had been arrested for DUI. So with that information in mind, we ran with he didn't want to do the breathalyzer because he was drunk and he was going to try and be like my word against theirs.
Yes, and it's also important to note that Tiger is historically a huge liar.
Also, good point.
I love Tiger. He's a liar. He lies.
He is a huge liar.
His team lies. They're full of shit all the time.
They're Spin Zone City.
The worst.
I don't know if you guys remember this. He was cheating on his wife with a lot of hookers.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So he lied to the public's face for a long time. So when this story came out about there was no alcohol involved in my DUI arrest, it seemed like a big old pile of shit.
Yeah, you put me back in that same situation that we were in a week ago. I'm going to say what I said 100 times out of 100.
Agreed.
I stand by it. However, I think it sounds like we were wrong.
Well, you were super wrong.
Blew a 0.00. He was on like 4 different things, including Vicodin and a couple other things that God only fucking knows what they do.
Yeah.
But it's been a week, and it basically feels like that was like a year ago now.
It does. And he was not lying when he said there's no alcohol involved. We've got the dash cam video now. We've got the video of him taking the actual breathalyzers and saying there were zeros.
We got the cool joke about his fading hair.
That's my main takeaway from this whole thing. His joke when they asked him.
The most Tiger Woods joke of all time.
But I don't think so.
What?
No, because I think he sucks at jokes, and he is bad at those.
But it's a classic, like, self-deprecating, kind of like brutal dad joke.
A little bit. When they asked, what's your hair color? He said brown and fading. And it got a couple chuckles out of the police, which is always good.
Yeah, it is. I think, though, like that's the same type of joke he would try at, like, a press conference. It's just funnier because he's, like, on outer space, or in outer space because he's so fucked up. And it was like, oh, he still made a funny one.
God damn it, you're right.
This is a Tiger Woods joke.
You're right. And I wish we could. Maybe I'll ask Sunshine about it. If we could go back and just burn last week's episode of the part where I went and I was like, I'm done shoveling your shit with this alcohol stuff, blah, blah, blah. I regret every word of that.
Yeah, and I remember because I was kind of like skirting the line a little bit of like, I don't know if he was really, drinking or not drinking or whatever, and then you kind of like dragged me in, and I did. And I came in with you. Was like, yeah, you're right, it's complete bullshit. And then like an hour after the podcast went up, it was like, oh, he blew a .00. Everyone's chirping us on Twitter.
People have been chirping me for years because I take Tiger side in everything. So that was going to be my moment where I turned heel and was finally against Tiger. Then it comes out, nope, he wasn't drinking, and I'm all the way back in on him.
Yeah, so that was a tough break for us, but hey, we haven't heard anything bad in like a week, so that's good.
He's got
also. Let me say this: fuck the Jupiter Police for like dragging out his whole saga over days with different dash cams and shit. Either just put it all out at the one point, or like I don't even know why they put it out at all.
Okay, well, no, see that I don't agree with.
What?
I see people.
They wouldn't put mine out.
I know they wouldn't.
But why? He's just a citizen. He's not like the general of the army.
No, you can't pull that. It's Tiger Woods. You can't not put his tape out.
Why?
Because people want to see that.
So, like, who cares?
I hate people like this. If you're going to go on this side, I'm going to hate you for like 10 minutes. People are like, I hate the people who say...
Why can't they just say, yeah, we have it, we're not going to release it? Like, why the fuck would we release it?
I hate the people who say it's out there and they're like, I'm not going to watch it.
Well, of course I'm going to watch it. It's out there.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that like that's a dick move
there
from them.
Are arguments,
they didn't have to put that out.
There are arguments to be made where they shouldn't put out just because he's a celebrity and a public figure. Put it out. I hate the people who say it's out there. I'm going to take a moral stand and not watch it. Fuck you.
No, I watched the shit out of it.
Okay,
I laughed, but I thought that was mean to Tiger Woods.
It certainly was.
And they just dragged it out. That was crazy. They like let out 2 or 3 videos on like Thursday and then another one Friday morning. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? They put it all out there.
When they first put it out, they put it to TMZ, and TMZ live streamed it. And they didn't put out the actual tape. That was fucked up. And then you're right. 2 days later, they put out the breathalyzer tape.
Crazy.
Maybe they shouldn't have released it, whatever. But if it's out there, I'm watching it.
A bunch of drama queens.
If it's out there, I'm watching it.
I watched it.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we got our interview with we got any more headlines? No, we're good?
No, yeah, we're good.
We got our interview with the lovely Paige Spiranac. First, this interview is brought to you by our friends at BetDSI.com. It's time to play, win, and get paid. BetDSI.com has over 20 years in business. They are a top-rated business. They're very safe. I play here all the time, as everybody knows. I'm a big-time gambler. I love to gamble. I won some money this last week gambling on my own game. However, you can also gamble on the pros game. We got the U.S. Open coming up. We got the FedEx St. Jude Classic this weekend. All kinds of good golf to bet on. Obviously, we got the NBA Finals going on, NBA Finals, NHL Finals, all kinds of finals, all kinds of games to bet on. Check out betdsi.com. Check out this offer that we've got for you. Free $25 bonus for the first time registrants. Use promo code GOLF25. That's capital GOLF 25 to claim this limited time offer. BetDSI is also offering a 100% bonus on your first deposit. They have great customer service, fast, easy payment of winnings, fantasy matchups, and player versus player wagers. Hundreds of wagers on PGA, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, F1, UFC. The list goes on and on. BetDSI even has live in-game wagering, which I love because you're never out of it. You can keep betting and betting and betting until you win a ton of money on major sporting events. Play virtually every sport at BetDSI, so use GOLF25 promo code for your limited time free bonus. BetDSI.com. Try it now. Promo code GOLF25. Here's Paige Spiranac. All right, now we are joined by the Paige Spiranac. We're at some golf course in Queens.
Yep.
In like some back banquet dungeon room type thing.
It's freezing in here, too.
It's very cold.
Really cold.
Very, very cold. Paige, is not your first time that you've hung out with us.
No.
You've known Trent, what was that, like a year ago?
It was like a year ago.
Yeah, it was last February when we first linked up down in Arizona to do our video, so that was fun.
Yeah.
So, Paige, obviously you have like 1 million followers now on Instagram. You're a pretty big deal. I think I looked, and I think the only person in golf that has more Instagram followers than you is like Rory McIlroy. I think you have more than Tiger and all that, which is insane. So when did you, I mean, obviously now you're big, 1 million followers. When did you kind of first blow up?
So it was about a year and a half ago. I just finished college golf. I was just playing, and I finished the Colorado match play. I ended up winning the tournament. And
No big deal.
yeah.
We'll brag there.
Well, no.
It's only been a year and a half. That's insane, by the way.
Yeah, it feels like it's been longer.
I know. I feel like I've been doing this for a while now. But so the reason I said I won was because I was getting text messages. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, my friends are congratulating me. They're like, no. They're texting me because they're like, oh, there's an article about you on a different website.
They're like, we don't give a shit that you won. Like, there's people writing
Yeah,
articles.
and they're like, this is really cool. Like, you have to check this out. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was just sitting with my mom, and I was like, hey, look this. And she was like, what's social media? Like, I don't know. And I was like, this is weird, because I'm like getting like a ton of followers.
Yeah, where were you at with followers before all that broke?
I think I had maybe around like 1,000.
Okay, wow.
So not too much at all. And that day, I ended up going from like 1,000 to like 50,000 overnight.
Jesus.
Literally overnight.
That's
yeah,
insane.
so it was insane. And then within a week, I was getting like interview requests, and from there, like, it just basically took off.
So you, like, getting into these interview requests in different spots, media spots, were you, like, nervous as hell, or were you like, yeah, let's do it? Because I feel like all your stuff is, like, very natural.
Yeah, are you accepting them, or are you like, no, I don't want any part of this?
At first, I didn't want any part of it. It's not like I think people have a misconception about me, because I think I just, like, threw myself out there, and I was just saying, like, I want to do this, 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 and this, and I want all the attention, and I didn't want it, like, at all. I was, like, curled in the fetal position, like, in my room, crying, because all these people were just following me, and a lot of, like, obviously random people I didn't know.
And trolls going
yeah,
on.
and right away they were, attacking me, and, a couple of the articles were really, really rude, and it was something I just didn't want at all. But my parents were like, hey, like, we were really struggling financially. I wanted to play professionally, but I knew I couldn't do it financially. So my parents were like, maybe this could be an opportunity where you could get your name out there, and you could maybe get one sponsor, and that would pay for one tournament. And we never expected it to end up how it is now. But that's how it started. In first interview, I think I did with like TMZ or something.
Classic.
Yeah, and I was freaking out. Like, I didn't know. Like, I had to call him, and I was like, hi, like freaking out, like shaking.
You can't even go back and look at that.
No, like I was just like, just shaking, and I was probably on the verge of crying, because I cry all the time. But I was so nervous the entire time.
So to go back to that, you obviously, like many people are like, yeah, she's hot. I follow her Instagram. She posts all these,
videos that I'm watching over and over again. People realize like you are a very heavily recruited college golfer.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because I think since I blew up, a lot of girls then saw like, oh, this is a way for me to maybe get followers. And so they were, like a lot of girls who didn't play golf just started picking it up and would take a picture with like a golf club. And I think people think that's how I am. But I was top 25 in the world as a junior golfer. I got a full ride to San Diego State. I was first and second team all conference. I have a pro win. I've made a cut on the LET. Like I've accomplished a lot. And last year was my first year as professional and played around 20 events and made money in all but 2.
So now, where are we at now? I mean, where are you spending most of your time? Are you playing golf all the time? Are you grinding all the time? Are you focusing more on media stuff? Where's Paige Spiranac at?
So last year was brutal. It sucked. Yeah. It got to the point where I didn't want to play any tournaments because no matter how I did, someone had something to say about it. And it wasn't just like, you suck. Like I was getting threats and blackmailed and really
That's what that press conference was about when you...
Yeah, so I had a press conference in Dubai where I broke down and probably around 20 minutes before then I got a really hateful message where someone was harassing me and blackmailing me, and so I was pretty much shaken up before I went into that. But it got to the point where it wasn't fun anymore at all. I hated playing golf, and so this year I'm kind of taking some time to myself to get my mind right and come back to competitive golf when I'm ready. So I'm doing a lot more media work, more pro-ams. I'm going to school and speaking about cyberbullying, which is really cool because I'm an ambassador for Cyber Smile. So doing a lot of really good stuff, but it's mostly just so I can get happy again.
Yeah. Where are you at with like the troll thing? Because I know that's obviously a big deal. And does it stop you from posting things, or are you at the point now where you're just like, I don't give a shit about these people. I'm going to post whatever I want to post?
I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
I have yet to post like a bikini picture or anything because I'm so worried that if I post something like that, then people are going to say what they're going to say. But this year, I kind of made a pact with myself. Like, I'm going to post what I want to post. I'm going to do what I want to do. And, I mean, people were saying negative things when I spoke to children about like cyberbullying.
That's
and
the
I
thing.
went on my way. Yeah, like
you can do the most noble thing in the world, and they're still gonna be like, yeah, blah, blah. So there's almost
haters gonna hate.
Exactly, that's totally true. So it's unfortunate, but I think you just gotta kind of do your.
I'm just such a sensitive person that it definitely affects me more than others, and like I'm learning to get better about it, but it's still tough.
Sure. Well, it's crazy when you go about it. You're just like normal person doing your thing. You're young, and all of a sudden, like a million people are watching. You're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
You can't prepare yourself for that. There's no way.
And it's hard too because I obviously got the attention before I had the results in my sport. Yeah. So I think a lot of people who have this kind of attention on them, they've achieved a lot, and they're kind of bred to be in the spotlight and be like a champion. I'm not. Like, I'm just not. Like, it's so weird how backwards it was. So people are seeing my career from the very beginning when it comes to golf, and I'm going to shoot 80. I'm going to have those bad rounds, and people just don't seem to accept that, and they don't get the whole thing.
Yeah, it was almost a harder task for you because, like you said, you got all the spotlight before you've done anything. Mm-hmm. Then you have the tremendous pressure, and I mean, like you said, you've accomplished a bunch. So
and people understand, like, as a young up-and-coming golfer who's grinding and trying to make it, it's expensive, and you can't just go out there and be like, I'm like a normal grinder who nobody gives a shit about my results right now, and I can really focus. It's like everybody cares about your results.
You got a microscope every time you go out.
Well, and it's really hard financially, and I don't think people realize that because they see the guys on the PGA Tour and they're playing for $10 million purses and they're flying private. Most of the guys, even if they're not top 10 in the world, if you're top 10 in the world for a female, you're doing like okay, but you're still not doing great. Yeah. And mini tours are horrible. Yeah. I mean, expenses are like $100,000, and I made like $12,000 last year.
Right.
And I made money in all but 2 events. So
not a math guy, but that's tough to understand.
Exactly. So I have to have a second job to be able to fund my golf career, and that's where kind of the modeling comes in and doing more of the media work. And I don't have my parents who can financially support me like a lot of the other girls.
And you'd be crazy not to do all that other, like the other stuff. And like those other, you'd be crazy. Like, who wouldn't do that?
Right.
So anyways, let's get into, speaking of like more fun stuff, happier stuff. A year ago-ish, you meet Trent Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way we met was this was back before Barstool got acquired, so we were doing one-off videos all the time.
Yep.
And I got the idea that I just DM'd you out of nowhere.
Yeah, on Twitter.
And I really did not.
Great move, always a good move.
Didn't think she was going to respond, and we got into a dialogue, and we ended up doing that video down in Arizona.
It's so funny too, because he DM'd me, and he's like, we set it all up, and he flew here. We didn't talk on the phone. We
Nope.
never like exchanged like phone numbers.
Nope.
I could have been some like random person, and you flew all the way here. Like,
Yeah, it probably
True.
was the other way.
I was gonna say, I'd be more worried about him.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the guy showing up.
Yeah.
No, but then you're right. We didn't talk at all before. And then we showed up, and we seemed to have like really good chemistry because the video went really, really well.
yeah, like
And-
right away too. Like basically, we just showed up. Was like, hey. And then started filming like the entire walk up. There was no like. I think we
No.
even filmed like the
We
first
did.
interaction. Like there was no like
was,
get
the
to
Awkward,
know
like,
you.
hello.
Yeah,
No.
hello. It was me and Gaz. I took Gaz
Yep.
down there, who was in love with you. And we
I
just
love
showed up.
him.
He's the
Cameraman
best.
guys.
That was back when Gaz was still a cameraman.
That was when he was doing that, yeah.
Yeah, and we had it in our heads on the drive there. We had about a 30-minute drive to meet with you at that driving range. And it was then when we decided that we were going to see if we could convince you to hit a ball out of my mouth.
So that went crazy viral.
Yeah, that did really well.
Walk us through that whole process, because I feel like that's not something, like we might have seen today, that those are not that easy.
Yeah, the way Gaz and I decided to do it was he was going to organically bring it up. And I didn't care. Like, I knew it would go viral. I'm sure you probably knew that
Organically
too.
bring it up. He was like, hey, hit it off his face.
And like, anybody who knows Gaz, he can talk you into just about anything. He's
Yep.
very persuasive. So once she said yes, I wasn't that nervous. People always ask me if I was nervous about it. Not really, because I knew if it happened and it went well, even if it went horribly, like if she knocked all of my teeth out, either way, it's a win for content.
Yeah, that's what you said. You're like, it will be great if you pull it off, but it will be even better if you hit me in the face.
It would have been so great if you would hit me in the face and Gaz just has like teeth falling out of my mouth.
He would have been like zooming in on your face, like, Trent, don't move.
Gaz isn't the type where he'd be like, oh, he wouldn't be concerned. He would just be like, this is the best thing we've ever gotten.
Yeah, content guy. Typical Gaz too is like, yeah, you get hit out of your face, like I'll just film, and
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything dangerous.
So I knew, and she was game right away, pretty well.
It took I was a little nervous at first, just
Yeah.
because I didn't want to hurt your pretty face. And I've never done that before. And
Yep.
like, I've seen a lot of things go bad. And it's hard because you're used to obviously hitting at a certain, height. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden your head is like this much higher. And it's scary. But the worst part was like, I was ready and I was good to go. And all of a sudden he like lays back and you're looking at his face. Like that's
a very like intimate little
he's, like,
situation.
Leaning back and he's just like, he has this look like, I'm gonna die, this is it, like this is how I'm gonna go out. And so I'm like looking down like, I have to hit it off his face.
Yeah.
First one, I swung really easy and like I topped it because I was like, I don't want to hit his face. And then I hit a good one. And then we hit like a couple more.
We ended up, what people don't know is we ended up doing it 4 or 5 times because we wanted the angles on it.
Yeah, and then the last one, like I was feeling really good.
Yeah, you got a little too confident, and I could feel the wind by my face going faster and faster. Like, we gotta stop. Like, we play with house money at this point.
The last one, I went like full force, hit it as hard as I could, and
Yeah.
like the tee like moved.
I was like, we gotta get out of here.
That was great. That was, and then too, Trent, all the different golf outlets were calling you like a man, and
Yeah.
like, dude.
Places don't like to give Barstool credit. We still fight that battle. And it was, a man gets a ball hit out of his mouth by Paige Spiranac. So,
Yeah, you could have got a little more credit for that, I feel like. And now like everybody does it, but that was like the first one, I feel like that went very viral.
yeah, it was the first one she had ever done. I was nervous she wasn't gonna want to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I love you guys.
So today we had a little match. We're not going to give away the result. You have to watch the video on barstoolsports.com. But what were your thoughts going in and your thoughts during the match?
So I was terrified. Like
There was a lot of back channel text.
a lot of
Negotiating going on.
I just have to pull some of these up because they're hilarious.
I said kitty corner to Riggs at the Barstool office, and he would update me every time. He'd stand up.
Yep.
He'd tell me. A couple minutes later, he'd stand up. Oh, she wants this. Oh, she wants that.
Yeah.
It was quite a
So
negotiation.
yeah, so
Let's do the original so that people know. It stemmed from Augusta. We were sitting in Augusta on the radio show, and you were kind of talking, and you were like, yeah, I'm like a +4 handicap. You know, people got to realize I'm not just a model, I can play. And I was like, well, if you're a +4 and I'm a 4, you give me 8 shots, I think I could beat you. And we went back and forth, and she was like, we got to play for something. It was brought up that, well, let's play like loser jumps naked into a pond. And then I tweeted that out on Thursday, and I
Yeah.
don't think that.
No, that didn't go well. So then,
Yeah, I don't think it went
Thursday at 5:14 after the tweet, I texted him. I said, "I will pay you to let me win." He said, "No cash sum will equal the eternal glory I will receive if I pull this off."
It's true.
Yeah, and I was like, "How about if I get you a date with Chelsea?" It was one of the other hot golfer girls, and he's like, "You really don't want to lose." And so we were going back and forth.
That wasn't a no. I was like, well,
Yeah.
who's this Chelsea?
And then so we were kind of going back, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I don't want to get arrested. Like, I was Googling all of this stuff. Like, I'm gonna get arrested for like indecent exposure. Like, my career.
You're really in your own head about
it. Oh yeah, my career is over. Like, I already don't people don't already respect me. Like, this is just gonna like ruin it even more. Like,
I lose to blogger, and then I'm like, what the hell?
I'm naked in a pond. Like, come on. Like, and then so we were like going back and forth with the negotiating, and it was like, I'll give you 2 if you do this, or I'll give you 3 if we do this. And we finally decided on, I'll give him 3 shots, but we'd play from the same tees, but the shots that he would get, I would move the tee box forward.
Yep.
So I was like, that makes sense. A couple hours pass. I'm texting all my friends. I'm like, okay, he's a 3 or he's a 4 handicap. If I give him 3, do you think I could win? And they were like, no, you're screwed. So I was like, what else?
I was feeling very confident about getting 3 strokes on 9 holes there.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, I think I could win.
Yeah, and then I was really like, oh no, like I'm gonna lose. And then last night, he goes, I'm very nervous. Why did we agree to this?
I started to get pretty nervous.
Yeah, you guys were both nervous when we got here today.
Yeah, so we ended up, we settled on terms that I think people are very much going to like.
Mm-hmm.
There were some wild moments out there.
Yes.
I don't know if people are going to have seen this or not, but Trent got hurt.
Some people will be listening to it, after they see the video. It doesn't matter. We'll just assume they haven't seen it.
Yeah. So Trent took one for the team in a pretty funny moment. Yeah. What were your thoughts on my game?
I was actually surprised. Like I've seen your swing, so I know that you hit it good. And as like a 4 handicap, like I know you can go low. But you, after the first drive, you hit a really good drive, and then
snap hooked my first one.
Yeah.
But then I straightened it out.
You hit it really well. You really did. Like I was actually surprised.
That was a loaded question. I knew she was going to say that, so I
you're
asked
going to
it.
just get compliments.
Yeah, she's very nice.
I told him after like a couple shots, it's like, wow, your game's really good.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if she was psyching me out. She also sent me this bullshit text yesterday, like, "Oh, I'm playing really terrible, by the way," and I was like, "Fuck off!" Like I knew I didn't believe it, but a part of me was like, "Ooh, she's not playing very well." But I knew the head games you were playing.
It was because I played yesterday with Steven, and we played a match because he's like a 4 too. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you 3 shots. Like, I need.
Which I didn't know he was that. I didn't know he was a 4
So I
either.
was like,
That's like pretty good preparation of literally
yeah, so I was
playing.
like, okay, like I'm gonna get mentally prepared for this. So like I warmed up, like I was like in like tournament mode, like ready to go. I shot 3 under for 9, and I was like, he's gonna lose. Like I'm ready to go. And then I was like, gosh, well, there's cameras around, and you're gonna be like in my head, and like
that was a big part for me. Was I'm gonna be
pressure. Like if I could handle pressure, I'd be on tour by now. Like I suck. And then I was like reading troll comments, and I was like, oh my god,
it just completely falls apart.
It all fell apart.
All because of this stupid video idea.
Then she just no shows us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my agent's like, don't get arrested, and like it was bad.
Yeah, so I played yesterday with a couple of our coworkers, Frankie Borelli, Brett, and then my roommate, and we get out there, played a pretty tough course. I was like, it was 6,600 from the tips, and I was like, well, that's longer than the course we're playing tomorrow, so let's do that. And I want to like prepare. And I told those guys, like, I'm treating this, and I parred like the first 7 holes and had a couple good birdie looks, and I was like, if I play like this tomorrow with 3 strokes, she's gonna want to kill me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was interesting going in. I think people are gonna like the video. There are a lot of good moments.
Definitely.
So what are you up to this week? You're in New York. We're all in New York, obviously, but you're here for a couple days.
Yeah, so I was just in New Jersey for the ShopRite Pro-Am. So I played those, and then I'm doing 2 more Pro-Ams at Winged Foot, which I'm super excited about.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, and then flying back, and just doing a lot of Pro-Ams this month, and a lot of traveling, and so it's good. It makes golf more fun right now. It's nice playing and like and actually enjoying it and not having people be like, you suck.
It's unbelievable. Like anytime you post any golf or anything, I've realized any golf like swing or like if you and your buddies putt in your apartment, like 95% of the comments are like, golf advice. Or
Yeah.
like what you need
no,
to do. It's like, dude,
I mean, I'm sure you get way worse. Anything that we put up, even if they're videos not of us, of just people sending us videos in, they'll be like, "Oh, your club speed's a little slow there, bro."
those
It's like,
people
shut
are
the
the
fuck up.
worst. They're the absolute worst.
Get a life.
Yeah.
Dude,
I hate
none
that.
of, like we're not the number one player in the world, and we're not trying to be. We're just like
Yeah.
playing golf and having fun, relax.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's like everything I post. It could be, if it's a golf video, you suck. And then if I
You could be
posted-
running out of a burning building with puppies, and
Yeah,
people would be
and-
like,
and
"You're not
it's
running
like-
fast enough."
and
Your
then
form
I-
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I posted one, and they were just like, "Oh, like you're wearing a padded bra," and I'm like, "Okay, I have one thing going for me, guys. Like, don't take this away from me, okay? Like one thing.
God damn you, just let me have
That's all I
this.
have left."
All right, do you have any questions for us? Anything?
I mean, for you guys. So will I always be number one in your hearts as the golf girl?
Yeah, I always wonder if there's like golf girl a little like.
Well, if I were
Animosity.
you, Paige, I'm looking at Paige. You like created a whole thing. I would be mad at the girls who are like trying to hop on that now. They're like, I mean, it's your
Yeah,
thing.
you kind of paved the way.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I'm number one in your
Yeah,
hearts.
I think you're definitely.
definitely number one.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Especially if you keep posting a bunch of pictures with our merch. That's
But,
huge.
okay, but the thing, okay, so a lot of
That's huge. For being real.
but a lot of people are like, oh, like they're just, you're doing this just to get followers. Like I actually really like Barstool, like as a whole. Like I'm always commenting on the stuff. Like I love everything you post and you write, and I think you guys are so witty and so smart that like I actually do enjoy everything. So
I love
it's
that.
not,
I love this part of
Like
the
I'm a
interview.
fan of it.
This is a
you
really
know?
good part of the interview right here.
Yeah, you guys are so great. Give me my $5 after for saying that.
So we'll keep sending you merch, basically. This is the end. All right. Well, that's all I got. Trent, you got anything else?
No, just everybody go watch the video. It's something.
Go watch the video if you don't follow already. It's Paige Renee on Instagram. Paige Spiranac. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
All right, that chat with the lovely Paige Spiranac, who is awesome, by the way.
The best. She really is the best. I'm not just saying that.
It's always cool to get different perspectives. We've done that with a lot of different things. We've had touring pros on. We've had announcers on with David Faraday. We've had retired pros on with Elk.
We've had guys like Michael Breed.
We've had Michael Breed. We had Ollie on last week, who was an author and a caddy from St. Andrews of 11 years.
Rave reviews for you on the interview. Good job.
Thank you very much. And now we get the little of the female golfer perspective. Paige, she's a young star. She's different. It's shocking that she's got 1 million fucking Instagram followers, which is more than basically anybody else with the exception of Rory.
Yep.
So it's nice to talk to her. She's cool as shit. She's always been a fan of ours.
Yeah, every time we see her, we have a good time.
She's pretty attractive.
Yeah, pretty good.
You could argue that she's very attractive. But that interview, as well as From the Gallery, which is up next, brought to you by the store, the merch, the Foreplay merch. You go to barstoolsports.com/4. That's Fore. We got all kinds of good stuff in there. We got 2 new shirts that we released today with our cool logo of a guy.
We're wearing both of them right
We're
now.
literally wearing them right now. We put a photograph up on our Insta and on our Twitter. We also got the classic polos. Those have been selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Get the navy, get the royal blue. We've also got the Masters colors if you're still in the Masters theme, which I don't know why you never or would you ever not be.
Right.
We also got tank tops.
We got tank tops. We also still have the Tiger Woods shirts on sale. Make Sundays Great Again.
Those got a little bump last week.
They got a little bump last week. And let me tell you this about the Make Sundays Great Again shirts. There are a lot of people out there now, and I'm making a list, and I've tweeted out and put it on Instagram. The people who are out there trying to defend Tiger Woods, we are dwindling. We are a rare bunch. And you need to wear these shirts so people
Fly
know.
your flag.
Exactly.
And this is how you fly
It's
it.
completely flipped. Everybody was a Tiger Woods fan back in the day. It takes metal, it takes balls, it takes whatever you want to still be a Tiger Woods fan. Buy a shirt and let everybody know.
And if you think when Tiger Woods does come back and win that Masters, whether it's next year or in 10 years or whenever it is, if you think I'm just going to sell you one of these shirts for $25, you're mistaken. We're going. It might be $100 to get one of these shirts.
It might be $200.
It might be $200. Don't wait. Get your shirt now. You got to go to barstoolsports.com /4play. Or no, /4.
Is that what it is?
I think it's /4.
I think it's, yeah, that sounds right. Fore.
Fore.
Oh, and there's golf towels. Those, I mean, we
There's
sell
everything.
a shit ton of those.
Stack your bag out. They're awesome. Load it up. On to From the Gallery. We got 3 this week. First one is simple. Jordan, our friend Jordan, What are your thoughts on men rocking pull carts in the NCAA golf championships?
I don't know why people get so riled up about this. I think you're about to get riled up about it, and I just could not care less.
I'm not about to get riled up about it. I would say if you saw some random Joe Blow out there by himself on like your average public track down the street, rocking a pull cart, he's a loser, and he needs to be made fun of.
No.
However, if you're in the NCAA championships, I think that's different because you're in the highest level for where you're at of competitive golf. You don't need to be fucking carrying your bag around. You pull that thing in a pull cart. However, you're out there, you're a dweeb, carry your own fucking bag.
No,
Or take a cart.
Okay, I'm more on that side, but if a guy wants to walk and you're getting your steps in, Fitbit, then
Carry your bag.
No, I think it's a nice happy medium. You can be out there walking, enjoying nature and all this, and you don't have to lug a fucking bag around. If you're telling me that you would rather like make something harder just because it's you're a dweeb and you got to be a golfer, put that thing on wheels and let me walk.
Look, don't mistake me for one of those guys that's like a big I succumb to stigma and peer pressure all the time.
I like it.
I've died on the hill of I wear my seatbelt in a cap. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't care if people think I'm a nerd or
You're a man of conviction.
I'm a man of conviction. It's not that hard to carry your bag. That's the thing. If it was like a grueling, way different process, I can understand that. Carrying and pull carting is basically no fucking difference. You're just a little bit lazier if you do the pull cart, and it ruins the whole majestic vibe of like maybe someone out there watching you and you're walking down the fairway with the sun setting in the background, carrying your bag. That's old school. People doing that for like 150 years. If you're watching somebody pull a fucking cart down the fairway, they look like a dweeb.
Who are you trying to impress out there? That makes it seem like
The
people
golf
are
gods.
Okay. You made it seem like the majestic nature of it. You're out there by your fucking self. If I can put something on wheels, I'm putting something on fucking wheels every
Then
single
take a
time.
cart. Don't pull your bag on a big cart. You look like an idiot.
I told you I'm on that side too. I'm a big cart guy, but pull carts. You know what? Do whatever makes you happy. Don't let guys like
and then
Riggs
you
try
do
and
that
take it out of
weird
you.
thing when they're going downhill. They hold it in front of them because it looks so stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Next one, we got these guys are on a buddy's trip. He sent this whole fucking long thing like he's
Very
a goddamn
long.
author. I'm just gonna do the bullet points here. Buddy's trip. They get to this par 3 island green that they've been looking forward to. I think it was in Myrtle Beach. They're all pumped. They're all like single-digit golfers. They're all pretty good. They should hit the green. They don't. Not a single person hits the green. They all hit it in the water. So they do a classic move I think we've all done, a group re-tee.
Yep.
Where you're like, those all sucked. Rather than just all go grind it out, why don't we just pretend that didn't happen and re-tee? Done that many times. However, one guy's never got a hole-in-one before, cans it. So they pose the question, is that a par or is that a hole-in-one?
That is most certainly not a hole-in-one.
Definitely not a hole-in-one.
Okay. I'm glad we agree on that because the only reason I say it's not a hole-in-one is because whenever you tell that story then, you'd be like, I got a hole-in-one. You got to be like, but it was after we all re-teed.
Yeah, in which case then it's just not a hole-in-one.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and people be like, why'd you preface it by saying, so I got a hole-in-one, but
Yeah.
like, you got a hole-in-3.
No, I'm surprised this is even a question. It's definitely not a hole-in-one. Hole-in-one is a hole-in-one. Everybody knows.
Yeah, so tell your buddy, sorry, no tough luck, or just maybe don't hit your first one in the fucking water.
Yeah.
Last one. This guy also sent in like this long novel. Gist of it is he's dating this chick, says she's really hot. This guy's from Canada, by the way. Anyways.
Just a Canada, just a beat for Canada there.
Yeah, just a little plug for Canada.
You're welcome.
He's dating this chick. She's awesome at everything, smarter than he is. She's really hot, he says, all this stuff. And then he's like, so I basically took her to play golf, being like, that'll be to get her out of her comfort zone. She'll suck. I'll be pretty good. She's better than he is at golf. So the guy's question is, essentially, can he date a girl that's better than he is at golf? I think we kind of talked about this on KFC
We
Radio.
talked a little bit about it. I think he doesn't know his girlfriend very well. He set himself up for failure. She has had to have mentioned, like, I'm pretty good at golf, by the way.
Yeah, but it sounds like she's smarter than he is, too. So she might have been like, if I tell him that, like,
He needs to get, if that's the case, he needs to get the hell out of this relationship because he's getting lapped by this
Or
girl.
he locks her down. Sounds awesome.
I don't know. I can take a girl who's smarter than me. I can't take a girl who's so much smarter than me that she just
She like pretzeled you into like kicking your ass in golf without you realizing?
Yes. I have no problem being the dumber person in a relationship. It's happened many times, but I need to be it can't go too much higher.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this all boils down to, we've come to this conclusion before on this program, that having your girlfriend be someone that plays golf is worse than having a girlfriend that doesn't play golf. And therefore, whether she's better than you, whether she sucks, it really doesn't matter. You don't want a girlfriend that plays golf.
Yeah. So the flip side of what you're saying is, hey, I'd get to play golf more because my girlfriend plays. Playing golf with a girl and playing, how you normally would are two very, very, very different things.
Agreed. And I also think you might get to a point maybe where it's cool if your wife figures out how to play golf, so that instead of you getting nagged at all the time about golf, she's just there. And even though your golf value experience is less, at least you get to do it without getting bitched at. But until you're 50 or 60, just don't let your chick play golf. Or I've always been of the theory, go give her golf lessons and give her the worst advice in the world. So she plays and she stinks. You just give her the worst. Maybe if she's right-handed, make her play left-handed. And then she'll suck. She'll hate it after a couple weeks, couple tries. You give her the worst advice imaginable. You totally overdo it with how positive you are. She's going to know you're full of shit. You're going to start to hate each other. She's never going to want to go golfing again. It's perfect. These guys that are out there, I'm going to get my wife good lessons. You're an idiot. Just keep her off the golf course.
Keep her off the golf course. I think that's the way to go with it.
So that's pretty much the gist there. That's From the Gallery. We're getting light on From the Gallery, so this is you folks out there, you Foreplay listeners. You need to pick it the fuck up. Email us, foreplay@barstoolsports.com. Email us. If you DM us, it's a lot harder to track them. So email us, foreplay@barstoolsports.com. Put From the Gallery in the headline so we could read them all, and we have more to talk about. These were good, but we're getting light.
Yeah, run a little low.
Last but not least, we got the FedEx St. Jude Classic week. It's a week until the U.S. Open. I really don't give a fuck about this tournament.
Yeah.
And anybody out there that's like, oh, it means the only time I really care is when somebody wins it to get in.
Right. That's
Those
when
are
it's
always exciting.
Yeah.
But other than that, it really doesn't matter unless a big star wins it. But even the field is brutal. I was looking. I even saw Jason Day give an interview yesterday. He's going to be at Erin Hills on Friday, getting ready. So so it's the FedEx St. Jude Classic. It's a week before the U.S. Open. We just had the Memorial, which is a big one. You circle the calendar for that. We got the U.S. Open coming up. If you're going to go around and be like, I really give a shit about the FedEx St. Jude Classic, you're full of shit.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I'm just hoping something happens with this Phil situation.
Yeah, we need a big rainstorm on Thursday. Here's the issue. So it's at 10 p.m. Pacific time. They're playing in I believe Wisconsin is in the Central Time Zone.
Sure is.
So that means it's noon. So, if she's giving the speech, too, those graduation ceremonies are the worst thing on the planet. Everyone's sitting there sweating their dick off. It's June. Everybody's doing the fan move with the program.
Yeah.
You know that one? So that's miserable. Even if he gets out of there by 2 or 3 p.m. Central, he flies right there. He's not there till 4. He's got no chance.
I got to tell you, I'm still trying to catch up on the time zone thing. Nothing confuses me more than time zones.
You're not a big... See, I've been going crisscross for years now.
Snip, snap.
It's like our second or third snip, snap reference. Gets me every time.
What do you mean you've been going back and forth?
Well, just because I'm from Missouri, but I've lived on the East Coast since I was 15.
It's the California one that fucks me up because I'm from Iowa and I know the East Coast time now because I've lived here for 5 months. But once you start going 2 to 3 hours different for the West Coast,
that really messes with you.
My brain just explodes.
Yeah, I've gotten down pretty good. I'm pretty good with him.
Harvard guy.
Well, Rory didn't know either. Remember, he missed his whole fucking tee time there at the Ryder Cup.
Allegedly.
2012. Allegedly. Now he's married to the girl
that's when he met.
Allegedly drove him to the course. We might have just become woke on something.
That is how you lock somebody down for secrets. The person who knows why you were late to a Ryder Cup match, you fucking marry her. You just marry her.
Yeah.
So she can't testify against him, right?
What did she walk in on? Who knows? Married.
Handcuffed, married.
That's going in the vault. Throwing away the key. All right. Everyone enjoy. Next time we'll be back. We got a big episode for U.S. Open week. Erin Hills. New track for these guys. Going to be fun. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live at large. I hit it hard. I would have given up by now. All the rough I've seen, these ups and downs, somehow I just keep on playing through. So all you critics, pull up a chair at the winner's circle soon. I'll be there with a high five and a smile for you. Hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. Had enough of people trying to tell me how to live my life. These lawyers and strings spending money like my ex-wives. Sure, I gamble and I drink and smoke 3 packs a day. Hell, ain't country music supposed to be this way? It's from the heart, man. I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. I hit it hard. I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. I'll keep hitting it hard, man. How about you?